Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. Today, it's going to be a very interesting video. I know you guys are going to like it. It's about the 26-day change of Survivor. So as far as we know, season 41 and 42 will have 26-day seasons. And this is because before they used to do like basically a 40-day cycle where it's 39 days and like they have one extra day, right? So that's 40 days. But because they have to quarantine for 14 of those days, if you take away 14 from 40, that gives you 26 days, which actually works out well because instead of working in 3-day cycles, they're just going to work in 2-day cycles. So that's the change. I'm sure you probably have heard of it by now. Inside Survivors reporting it. Other sources are reporting it. Jeff has not denied it. Production has not denied it. CBS has not denied it. So it's pretty much happening. And so today I'm going to discuss my thoughts on how that's going to change the game and add a whole new layer to the game. And I think it really is going to change the game, not in the most super big ways, but maybe in more subtle ways. And we'll talk about it. All right. So previously, the cycle that they would do is that they would have they would usually have an off day, uh, or a reward challenge, and then they would have another day that whatever happened on the day before, the other one happened on that day. So basically, to put it simply, on the day one of the 3 day cycle, if there was a reward challenge on day one, then they would have an off day for day two, and then an immunity challenge on day three, and a tribal on day three. It's very very important that you understand that tribals and immunity challenges always happen on the same day because they want to condense the amount of strategy to that like 5 hour period. Usually, and unless there's some twists or some formatting issue where they have to do tribal on the next day. But usually, how it works is there's like, for example, there'll be an off day, a reward day, and then there would be a mini challenge in tribal day. So what this 26 days does is not only does it break off the off day, but it can also break off the reward day. So if they didn't want to do a reward, then it would just simply work where they did an off day and then a mini challenge tribal day. Or if they want a reward, then they could just do a reward day and then a immunity day, tribal day. And so it really doesn't change much for me. It just kind of either it eliminates either the reward challenges or the off days, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm not the biggest fan of the reward challenges. They usually don't have that big of a stake, and then therefore they kind of save their better ideas for the immunity challenges. And all overall, I'm just not really interested in challenges. I don't really watch the show for that reason. But yeah, so that's the change that they're going to have to make. So now let's start to talk about how I think it's going to change the gameplay and how the players approach the game. So a lot of people think that the less amount of days per cycle, like to vote somebody out, the less amount of days to figure that out will involve in more conversations and more more density in the gameplay. Meaning the gameplay that could have happened over 3 days. So let's say we had a measurement system of the amount of gameplay happening, and there was 10 gameplay happening. Like just hypothetically, there's 10 gameplay or let's say it's 12 gameplay happening, right? Well, if that 12 gameplay happens over 3 days, that's four gameplay per day. And people think that if it's shortened to two, then you'll have six gameplay per day because it'll be six and then six, which makes 12. I personally think that you're still going to have the four gameplay per day and have the same amount of gameplay per day. Moving back to real life and out of the analogy, I think that the gameplay won't become more dense as the days become more dense. Because I really do believe that there's a lot of downtime in Survivor where, like, if you watch the Worlds Apart finale when they were talking about Dan's comments or whatever, and they showed like the kind of like behind the scenes, like when the cameras are kind of just like dilly dallying around, like no one's like doing anything. That's what I feel like a lot of the time is spent on, especially in that off day that they're now going to get rid of. And so I feel like now you're gonna see a lot more, or sorry, you're not going to see a lot more dense gameplay. You're just gonna see a lack of off time. So for them, it's gonna feel like more dense gameplay because they don't have breaks of going out and talking to people like now, because there's not that off day, or that, or just overall less off time. But for us, it's not going to feel like any more dense gameplay, because that we wouldn't see the off time anyway. And so I feel like it's not really going to change much in that way. My second one is that I think that there's going to be an increase in talking about it, but I actually think the effect is going to be a lot less than what the players are talking about. So I feel like it's going to be really hyped up. Like when Jeff tells the players at the start of the season, if they don't already know, which I'm sure they're going to save telling them for the opening scene. I would hope, and if that's the case, then I think that the players are going to be really make it a huge deal, because it's going to affect them. But as viewers, we're going to be like, what? Wait, what? Like, I totally forgot it was like it was in 2 day cycles, rather than 3 day cycles. I feel like the players are going to make it a really, really big deal, whereas in the actual viewers themselves aren't going to realize the difference, because of the pacing of the show isn't really going to change. The show works in 2, 3, or 4 day cycles, which everyone makes the production happy and brings in the most money is what they're going to do. I think overall it's not going to bring much changes, but moving on, I think that my third one is that I think production is going to try and make it harder. Especially because of Jeff commenting in his Instagram/Twitter post that the game is the monster, and then the players have to conquer it or run away, or whatever his crazy analogy was. It was yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, I think overall, I think production, to try and offset the 26 days, they're going to come out swinging with like old school type of stuff, from what I'm hearing, the Flint will be transferred from tribe to tribe based on who wins and loses tribes, or sorry, wins and loses challenges, which just sounds so old school to me. I just, based off of the lack of days in a season, because you guys have to remember, us watching this, like you watching this video right now, you're probably like a super fan, and you're in this, like, not in the casual fan category, but the casual fans who just like turn on the TV and see Survivor, and they're like, or oh, they're like, oh yeah, I hear it's coming out on Wednesday and I'm gonna watch it. Those people have no idea that it's going to be 26 days. They have no idea. They're going to be dumbfounded, disappointed. They're going to go through all those emotions that Russell Hanson's going through right now, about it being to 26 days in like the stage of like 5 minutes, because they're going to have no idea. And so I think the production is hyping up the season as really dangerous, because it knows that all the casuals are going to be dumbfounded and disappointed when they hear that the season's going to be shortened. And so I feel like they're going to really like overcompensate for the fact that there's a lack in days of the season. So next, I'm going to talk about the future of Survivor regarding 26 day seasons. So me personally, I'm totally fine with it being 26 seasons in 41 in 42. I am not totally fine if it goes past that. I understand that we're in the Rona times now, and this and that, whatever. But if we're gonna be doing 26 day seasons in 2025, we're going to have a serious issue. And I do think that viewers will start to leave, because not because it actually has like a real change, but just because of the symbolism of the show. It's just it seems really, really like shady and like dirty businessman-y, to like, oh, like we can make more money if we do 26 days. I feel like that people would not take well to a permanent 26-day seasons model. And so I feel like I really, really hope that this is just temporary, because if it's not, then that would be so unfortunate. I'd still watch, because I love Survivor, and I know all of you would, but I don't know if the casuals would come back. And lastly, I just want to mention that I do think that we're going to see a lack of fatigue in Jeff. So I think recently, towards the end of seasons, like I remember in an interview, he had said that at the end of Ghost Island, before he had received like the tie vote thing, like when he went to go read votes for the final vote for a winner in Go Sound. Before he had like seen that it was a tie, or like heard from a producer that it was a tie, he was like half asleep because he was so tired, because he had just filmed HHH and Go Sound back to back. And so I feel like we're going to see a lack of that from Jeff. I feel like Jeff's going to be really energized in more specifically in 42, because I feel like he's not going to have that fatigue of, I just filmed 39 days and now I have to go film 39 more. So I think we're going to see more energized Jeff, and so I think this will be a nice refresher for Jeff, because he's getting older. He's getting, I believe he's 60 years old. So yeah, I feel like we're going to see a more energized Jeff, and really just overall production. And I do think that we're going to see a really, really big increase in production this season. Last but not least, I think for me personally, I like when they try new editing techniques, when they like do like out of order editing, as long as it's not too major. And when they try new like transitions, or new like wide shots or shots of like the wildlife, like I love when they try like new stuff and it works out. So I feel like they're going to be trying to start new things, especially with Jeff, hyping up all the drop the four, keep the one. It's a new era, all that stuff like that. So I do think that we are going to see a different show. So that's it. Tell me your thoughts on 26 Days. Is it a deal breaker for you if they continued it after season 43? Is that something that would like really, really shock you and disappoint you, or would you really like it? Because then they can make seasons more quickly, and production wouldn't be as fatigued. Let me know in the comments. Like, share, do all that good stuff. 75% of you guys who are watching this video aren't subscribed. That's a shame. It's free and it's easy. And if that's it, thank you for watching my channel.